Going second Spright deck can destroy any board and then set up a really crazy control board in order to win the game. Stay tuned to find out more. Yo, what's going on guys? Welcome back to the channel. So I'm doing a Spright deck profile for the September 2022 format. Now we haven't got a new ban list, however that doesn't mean we can't update the deck and show a different way of playing it. Because of the powerful going second cards that exist in the game now, cards like Ultimate Slayer for example, it means we can now use these really powerful cards to win us the game. If we are going second deck, it's really easy for us to break those boards with cards like Ultimate Slayer and Evenly Matched, and then because Spright is really efficient, we make that gigantic Spright, we make that Toad, and then we win the game really easily by making a control board. So that's the aim of the deck, and I'm going to show you with the monster spells and traps, extra deck, and also the side deck as well. Let's go. Okay guys, so we'll start off with, of course, Spright Blue. This is the most, the scariest card in the deck. It's such a crazy engine. The fact it can special summon and then search for any Spright card just makes it so powerful. Next, we're running Spright Jet. Spright Jet is really powerful because on special summon can search a Spright spell or trap, and we play Smashers, which is a really powerful control card. And it's not bad going second, granted you have the materials on board. Spright Pixies and Spright Red and Spright Carrot. Now, because I'm going second, I decided I'm only going to run one of each of them. For my testing, this seems to be a mix between going second and having your consistent Spright engine. It's 9 Spright cards and I'm okay with that. And if you count Spright Starter, that's 12 Spright cards. So I think that's fine. Again, we have Pot of Prosperity as well to be super consistent. So I think with that in mind, this is a really good Spright engine. So the next engine we're running is obviously the Swap Frog engine. This engine is crazy because gigantic Spright tutors out Swap Frog from the deck, and then with one Swap Frog we can make the Toadally awesome. And granted we've broken their board, that just solidifies the rest of the game for us. So the engine, I've actually taken out the Dupe Frog because I want to go all in on just the standard combo line for Toadally awesome. So that's why I'm running this engine as well as the Swap Frog. The level 2 water engine, I'm running Nimble Beavers. You can actually normal summon it and special summon a beaver from the graveyard. So it's got that really nice recursion, and it's a great card to 1, bait hand traps, and 2, a really good prosperity target too. I'm running the Gamma package. Because I'm only going second, this is what I've decided to run. It's the best hand trap going second. That's what it's known for really. And then to top it off, we are running the one of Dino Wrestler Pancratops, because we're going second, and I think it's a really efficient way to beat other Spright boards, sometimes Tournament boards, because it's 2600 attack and it can tribute itself as cost to pop a card in the field. There's weird scenarios where it can play around Mystic Mind as well because it's left the field, so Mystic Mind's effect won't actually work as it's supposed to, or like how the opponent is assuming it would work. So Pancratops is really cool with that scenario, and that's pretty much the monster lineup. It's a very standard Spright list. What I've done is taken the core of Spright. What makes it great with Toadally Awesome is the Swap Frog engine, we've got the Beaver engine, and then some going second cards like Pancratops and Cypher and Gamma to basically make a going second deck that is still consistent. Everyone is trying different things right now in the game. We're seeing Runic Spright, we're seeing Tournament Spright, we're seeing a bit of Mystic Mind Spright. There's a lot of things going on, but I want to try this going second build because I think it's really good, really successful. So of course we're going to start with the 3 Spright starter. This is your, I mean it says in the name, it's your star of the deck. And it's amazing that it can special summon Spright monsters on your opponent's turn. If you get Dark Rule no more, you activate this on res and you have a negate, which is not bad considering you've just been Dark Ruled. So that's really cool. Running the 1 Smashers, going second, I'm putting a lot of my faith into my going second board breakers. Because of that reason, I'm only going to run 1 Smashers. I might want to run the second one in the side deck. I'm not at the moment. If mine gets a bit crazy, that's what I might just do. Next card is, Go by the Grave, standard, is limited for a reason, amazing card. What I really like about the deck is now that we're running Pot of Prosperity, we can dig for any card we want. Again, if we're going second and we don't have what we need, we can dig it with the Pot of Prosperity, which is hilarious. And if you reveal like an Ultimate Slayer, a Dark Rule no more, it's insane how easy it will be to break boards once you find those cards. So you notice, I am talking a lot about board breakers, but you notice I'm only running 2 Dark Ruler. I have a reason for that. And the reason is I'm running 2 Dark Ruler, 2 Triple Tactics Talent, and I'm running 2 Ultimate Slayer. Now, my reasoning here was I didn't want to congest my deck with too many going second cards. I used to play Mech Knight, so I know how the going second decks work, and it really sucks when you draw too many of them and then you don't have your engine, right? Pot of Prosperity is a card we rely on a lot. Having only two of each of these cards means we can also just not have them in our hand too much, and allows us to draw our engine cards. And I think this, coupled with the trap cards I'm about to show you, is the reason why we only play 2 of each. And personally, I consider Triple Tactics a going second card. It's great going first too, don't get me wrong, but going second, you can just steal their boss monster, you can steal something like an IP Avramax, and you know, stealing something like that, using a link material is hilarious and insane, and it's such a momentum boost for you in the game. So yeah, I think that's the ratio I like right now. Cards I'm considering is maybe Forbidden Droplets, maybe, you know, standard board breakers like Raigeki. But we move on to the traps now. Maining evenly matched is such a weird thing right now in the game, but I think it's the perfect deck to do that with. Again, our engine is so efficient that you don't even have trouble getting it going, and I think evenly is the perfect card to destroy the opponent's board, get it out of the way, and let us do our combo. But I like to consider these pseudo hand traps just because they work on your turn, they work on the opponent's turn, and they're just great cards overall. They're just very bog standard negations, and I would consider this a staple in every deck if you can run it. And that's the deck. I think this is very similar to my other Spright deck, where the ratios and the expectations of how you run it is really simple, it's really obvious. But I've made the changes going for as a going second build, and I think these are going to be really successful. If you got the deck and you got the cards, I definitely suggest you try it out. Let me know how it goes. And yeah, we'll move straight on into the extra deck. So the extra deck hasn't actually changed too much from my original build. You can watch that if you're curious as well. That was an undefeated Spright deck profile. But with this one, I'm running 2 Spright Elf. I'm running an IP Masquerena. I'm running a the Dark Charmer as my Link 2 extenders. I think these do the job, and as a going second deck that aims to win the game by having a control-oriented board or breaking the board with our board breakers, means we don't need too much going on that's too crazy, and I think this is exactly what we need. Of course, the infamous boss monster, the Link boss monsters. We've got Access Code Talker, of course. We've got Mech-Knight Crusader Avramax. The IP Avramax combo is so good against Terrament that all of them now start playing Topologic Zerboros or Borrelord Dragon because they can't out the card, right? Against control decks too, when in doubt, just summon IP Avramax, which is easy to do in this deck, and you're having a good time. So yeah, these two are amazing. And I figured because Spright decks can spam the board big time, I figured running the Underworld of the Goddess is like a no-brainer, simply because you can just take out their Link 2s as material, and more than half the time they don't even expect it, and when it's on the board it usually closes the game, which I love. And at 3k as well, it's really hard to take down, so Underworld is an MVP pick every time and always gets the job done. Gigantic Spright, of course, you know, detaching a material which is not cost, by the way, to summon Sword Throat to get out Totally Awesome is great. The Dino Magician, of course, the Sky Cavalry to get into the Zeus really easily, and then we have Zeus himself. And you know, Zeus is great against control decks because you activate his effect, you wipe out their whole back row, and suddenly they have nothing to do. So playing Zeus against control decks is really fun, really easy, and resolving his effect with the downed Sky Cavalry makes it super powerful because you can do it twice, and that means you can chain to an opponent trying to negate Zeus's effect. And we're only running 1 Totally Awesome. So my extra deck is a little bit tight. Because I'm going second, I'm running Ultimate Slayer. Because I'm running Ultimate Slayer, I'm running the Omega to recycle itself, and I'm running the Entis as the fusion target, and then the Totally Awesome as the Quote-unquote XT target, because it just shuffles back into the extra deck, which is really nice. You have like infinite ammo basically. So this is the ratio I'm running, and I'm really happy with this. I think this is really successful in testing, and yeah, it performs super well. Again, because the deck is so efficient, we can run things like going second cards and not worry too much about how our deck consistency is. And the extra deck is so simple that we can run this core of it and then have so much space left to do other things like the Ultimate Slayer targets, and that's really cool. This is the part of the game where people are starting to side against you, so we need to do the same thing. And one thing we struggle with if we're going first is the fact people run cards just like us, the board breakers. So of course we're gonna run we're gonna side the 3 anti-spell, which is just a really easy out to Mystic Mind decks. We're running the Run Red Reboot. Of course, we gotta respect the back row decks, and we gotta respect every scary trap card in the game right now. Speaking of scary trap cards, a point of the Red Lotus. Of course, we gotta run this card. This card says no to any BS card that someone's about to use on you. You can see their hand and get info. Also learn what to negate in their hand and how much gas they really have, because people, of course, bluff in Yu-Gi-Oh! So I think Red Lotus is such a powerful card. You know, paying 2k in game 3 can be awkward. A card that you don't have to pay life points for is Dimensional Barrier. Calling Fusion against Element makes them struggle a lot. Calling Exceed against Spright is not bad. It sucks this card doesn't have a link option, but with the new Pendulum support coming and some Pendulum decks like Valence approaching as well, which is already out actually, calling Pendulum is not a bad idea as well. But ultimately we run this because we're respecting the Synchro decks and the Fusion decks, mainly Element. Choosing to respect Rogue, a bit of Brave, and just about anything else. I think Drawn Lockbird is the kind of card that shuts down the decks that it actually hits. If Drawn is good against the deck, more likely than not, if you resolve it, you just win the game. And it's good against Flunder too. if they don't de-shift you. Again, so a little bit more of a, I want to say, Tearlament hate. DD Crow is great, and it's a card that can stop any Tearlament fusion's effect from resolving because you're banishing that monster that's activating their effect, which means the fusion effect can't resolve. DD Crow is great. It's not once per turn, and I think that just makes it the best, one of the best, if not the best, hand trap in the game right now. Okay, so that's been the deck profile for a going second Spright build. Again, if you have the cards, definitely try it out at your locals. Let me know how it goes. I think the ratios may need some tweaking, and it very much depends on how people like to build their decks. So guys, that's been the deck profile. Thanks so much for watching. If you liked the video, of course, as always, make sure to drop a like and let me know in the comments down below, would you like me to play this deck in EDO Pro? Going second is not really a strategy that most players tend to use these days, so I think it's a interesting surprise factor. And because remaining cards like evenly matched, we also have, funnily enough, a good matchup against control decks, and they'll never expect it going first. And I think that's really funny in a game 1 scenario. So guys, again, with that being said, I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.